This is Inspirational Women, a weekly series shining the spotlight on female trailblazers making a true difference in our community. Once again, here is Kate Daniels.
Cardiovascular disease is the number one killer of women. So the American Heart Association does the critical work of education and fundraising to save lives through research and support. On March 6th, the Go Red for Women experience is one such major fundraiser, and we have the chairwoman, Lee McGrath, with us to provide some insights. Lee McGrath, good morning. It's so great to have you join us this morning.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I really appreciate it.
Well, Lee, I am so grateful that you are so involved, that you take on this role as the chairperson of the big experience that's coming up really, really soon, early March, that we have an opportunity where we can gather together, learn more about the American Heart Association, hear the speakers who come with great stories, but it really takes some coordinating, and there you are, the chairperson, ringleading it, right?
It does some kid coordination, but let me be honest, I have a team of people who are also just, gosh, it's just a fantastic team, all working together for one common mission. And you use that word grateful. Gosh, I love that word. So I'm grateful for the team, and I'm grateful for the American Heart Association for doing everything that they do.
So there's a big team. I guess that attests to how important this is, and the message is getting out there to really educate and support and see how heart disease in various forms really touches all of us.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, it's amazing to me how few people really understand deep in their bones that heart disease is actually the number one killer for women. And also we're parents, we're moms and dads as well. And I know for me, I have a personal connection as my son has a congenital heart defect. So to be able to give back and raise awareness on behalf of women, but also on behalf of parents and little kiddos, it just absolutely warms my heart. It's just really fantastic.
So your son, which, we think of adults and it's challenging and tough, but a child who is dealing with heart disease at a young age, because I believe he's just 6 years old?
Oh, no. My son is actually now 14.
Okay.
Yes, he was diagnosed. You're probably thinking about my story. He was diagnosed when he was about 6 years old. But he is now 14. He is doing great. He actually just left for a basketball tournament, and he is going to play like crazy, and it's going to be great. Yeah.
Well, yes. So obviously that's not stopping him in his tracks at all. He's just living a good life.
He's just living a good life. Everybody has different experiences, but he does know everything about his heart, and we do have regular checkups, and he does know what his future holds, which is probably a surgery. And so that's something that he's known. Actually, we made the decision to be very transparent with him. Personal decision, of course. It's right and wrong for different kiddos and different parents, but he knows everything, and he has just an amazing maturity and awareness. And he also gives back to the American Heart Association in the ways that he can as well. And to use that word again, very grateful for all of that.
And I really respect, I honor the fact that you have shared it with him. And it is, of course, different for every family. But obviously it has turned out to be the right decision in your family. And it feels like it's really helped him to be much more aware and to be proactive and just not have something really sneak up on him. Not that things can't, but really that awareness is important.
Yeah. And it's amazing because, he's a teenager now. So the only way my son communicates with me is, when he's in a car. And I've so enjoyed actually listening to him and hearing him interact with his friends about his heart condition. And his friends know and support him. And he also, gave a public speech talking with his friends in the audience and their families, talking about the AHA and talking about what heart disease, how it's, part of just who he is as a person and how he navigates that. And so the AHA, American Heart Association, has really helped with that as well because it creates a community, and we all need community. And that has been something that has just been really an amazing thing to be a part of.
And it really sounds like it's helped him to be so mature, to have him speaking about it and sharing and educating then his peers, because there again, we may or may never know that that in itself can save a life of one of his peers or a teacher.
Absolutely.
Another parent.
It's why you have to have, get the conversation out, right? And make sure that we're all talking about all of this so we can learn and adapt and be flexible. And just to also be very clear, I also punish him many times for using his phone inappropriately and speaking out in math class. So he's also just a regular teenager about his day.
Oh, so good to know, Lee.
Yes.
Yes.
All true.
Yeah. I love it. That's just so human, so natural. We're just
Absolutely.
your regular American family.
Yeah, we're just regular people.
Yeah. Now, the thing that is maybe a little step above, though, is being, taking on these additional roles, volunteer roles, and being so engaged with the American Heart Association. And specifically that there's a big event, really an important event coming up with the experience.
Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned that. Yes, on March 6th at the King Street Ballroom in Perch inside the Embassy Suites in Pioneer Square, we are the HA, along with me as the chair, are hosting a big, huge event, and it promises it to be fun and informative and that sense of community. And a wonderful, wonderful woman, Hana Hooper. I've met her a few times, and her mother, she has an amazing, inspiring story. We will be honoring her and hearing Hannah's story. And she's, had a heart transplant, and she just gives back in ways that are just, it just lifts your heart up. And so that is taking place on March 6th, and I couldn't be more excited. We will have our red clothes on, and we will be cheering and screaming and making sure all of our voices get heard.
And this is an event, if you people hearing this decide I want to hear more about this, I want to be there, they of course can go online and register, right?
You're exactly right. heart.org/Puget Sound Go Red to get tickets and to learn more about the event. I will be there. Many members of the Premera leadership team will be there supporting me and supporting the American Heart Association, along with many, many, many people from the business community, as well as other folks who are navigating heart disease.
And you mentioned Premera. Well, they are a sponsor in general, but you have a special connection there too, don't you?
Oh, sure. Yes. I'm the Executive Vice President of Healthcare Services at Premera. And just working for a not-for-profit Hometown Blue plan, providing assistance to our members and a great customer and provider experience every day. It's been just one of the biggest joys in my career.
You just come across, you sound so strong and confident. I see that you definitely suit the role. It's
Thank you very much. You can actually also mention that to my boss or any of our other leaders, and you can find out what the truth is.
No. It's to underscore that, yes, you have the right person in the right position working with you.
It's a lot of fun. It has been it's just been so great.
Yeah. Both with work and with this volunteer together, right?
I just truly living my dream life. It is absolutely true.
That is so amazing. I'm thinking back to when we were talking about the Go Red for Women experience, and we were mentioning it happening. I'm not sure if we actually mentioned the date. So just to, even if we repeat,
I'm so glad. Let's circle back on
that.
March 6th. So yes, on March 6th. Gosh, I don't even know what day of the week that is.
I think it's a Thursday.
I think it's a Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like imagining my calendar right now. I think it's a Thursday. Yes, there you go.
So it's great. It's a Thursday, late afternoon into the early evening, a great presentation. I've been in past years. I am looking
have you really?
Yes,
oh, great.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been the last couple of years, and it really is fun. They're balloons. There's sparkles. It's great.
Yes. And actually, it's changed over the years, too, because it used to be luncheons many years ago.
Oh, you're right. Because this is my third year going, and the first year actually was a luncheon. You are exactly right. And last year was an evening event, also on a Thursday as well. Gosh, great memory.
Well, actually, the American Heart Association, maybe in part, my mother had a heart condition.
Oh, yeah.
And so, there's been that little thread of connection, but you have such great people with Frankie and Valerie working there that are good connections and always bring wonderful guests to talk about and heighten the awareness of heart disease and heart health. So, there's just, that's why. That's it.
Yeah, that is fantastic. I'm going to relay that onto them, that we had this conversation and that you actually remember it and, was able to talk about how inspiring all of their work is. That's just so wonderful.
Well, and everyone is. And the women, like you're mentioning, Hana, who we're going to get a chance to meet here in a little while. These stories are so impactful. I think hearing what you've shared about your son, all of that really helps us connect, I think, and put that human piece of it, the human face on it, and go like, I need to learn, I need to be proactive, I need to do what I need to do here.
Yep. I need to know my numbers, I need to exercise, I need to watch what I eat, and I need to keep developing community.
Yes, exactly. And we'll toss in there too, all of this happens with donations, with support to continue the research and to have these communities and education going on to help people.
Nope, you're exactly right. I'm so glad you mentioned that as well. It's an opportunity to actually, we're grateful for anything anyone is able to give, and the power of that, of not only the money, but that feeling that you actually really impacted somebody's life is just, it can't be beat.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, it's great work for an important cause. It's about our life, our health, our life. It goes round and round in that circle. So again, that's the big experience is coming up on March 6th. And the way to register, let's just mention that once again.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Visit heart.org/Puget Sound Go Red.
Well, it's going to be a great event, lots of fun and festivity and healthy eating along with that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, Lee McGrath, it's been great to connect with you, and I look forward to seeing you the night of the event.
I can't wait. I will look forward to it as well. Thank you so much for this time. It was great meeting you.
Good to meet you as well. And now we get to meet the guest speaker for the March 6th Go Red for Women experience, Hana Hooper, the 2024 Woman of Impact winner, and her mother, Allie Hooper. Hana and Allie Hooper, it is so wonderful to welcome you this morning. I am thrilled to be with you and really thrilled to be sharing Hana's story, which is really the Hana and Allie story, as I think we're going to learn as we go along. So welcome to both of you.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you very much. We're excited to be here.
Well, this is truly an exciting time that began with something that was really huge trauma dating back to 2016 when you were just starting college. Well, college wasn't a trauma, was it? It was probably a very exciting time, Hana.
Yes, it was. It was awesome. But a few weeks in, I got the worst headache of my life, and my friends rushed me to the ER where I was diagnosed with a migraine. Turns out that was my first stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she also, at that time was, she wanted to be a veterinarian and was so excited to make new friends, but she was really sick in that first month, nauseous all the time.
I couldn't make it up 2 flights of stairs to my college calculus class.
Yeah, she ran out of breath, and she saw several doctors, and they told her at first that maybe she had asthma, and then maybe
when the inhalers didn't work, they told me I was just really out of shape.
So, yeah. And then finally I was back here in Seattle and I just decided this is going on too long and she's trying to start college. How can this, I've got to go help her. So I went out there, and when I saw her, I just thought we need to go to the doctor again. And I took her to the emergency room, where she ended up being diagnosed with late stage heart failure and dilated cardiomyopathy.
And so
she was Oh, go ahead.
What was the time frame for that between the migraine, which was a stroke, and this time when you were there, Allie?
Oh, less than 2 weeks. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really? And by then it was the stroke had caused this heart disease, or was that a
No, the heart disease had caused the stroke. It was the other way around.
Oh, and you had
Yes.
no awareness of having this heart condition.
No, in hindsight now, I was sleeping a lot before going to school. I also couldn't like we called me the slow Loris because I'd make it up, like we'd go on hikes over the summer and I would make it to the top, but I would be very slow. So we just thought I was out of shape, right?
Maybe in hindsight, there were some signs, but really, she was living like a normal teenage life
Yeah.
and doing things with her friends and active. And she had joined the rugby team
Yeah.
at college,
Uh-huh.
but she just kept feeling worse and worse. And so I think that I think it was there all along. And it turned out that it was a clot from the heart, not pumping correctly and pumping slowly. That is what caused that very first stroke.
Yeah, a thrombus went to my brain.
Oh my gosh, that is so incredible. So here you are, then 2 weeks later, they finally realize you have this heart condition. Then what happens?
So the doctors rushed me to the ICU, and they told us that our family probably should come into town in case the worst happened. I still think we didn't really realize what was in our future. But so my dad, my sisters all flew into town. And so my family of five, we all stayed in one tiny ICU room.
We didn't realize at that time, we didn't have any knowledge that women could get heart disease even. So we had very, very limited information about, background knowledge about what was happening. And so she was in the ICU. She was there for 2 weeks on drip medications, and it was clear to the doctors that she was not improving and we should be closer to home. So she was flown home on a medical flight here to Seattle to the University of Washington, where she went into the ICU there.
Yeah.
And then about 2 months later, she was not improving on any of the medical interventions.
I was bouncing in and out of the hospital with different IV drugs. And finally, the doctors told us that my heart wasn't improving. So they were going to put me on the heart transplant list. And that was when it really hit home that I wasn't going back to school and that my life had changed very rapidly. My dad cried.
Oh, understandably. Hearing this is so emotional. I mean, to be told at age 18, you were 18 at that point, right?
Yeah.
But to be told you need a heart transplant, oh my gosh, how does one at 18 even compute that?
Yeah, I don't really know. How did I get through that?
It was scary. It was scary. You especially things that you don't know anything about and that affect what your dream of the future looked like or what we expect to happen when those things change. It's a challenge, right? It's scary and it feels overwhelming. But I think we gathered round and just said, you're going to get through this. And we trusted in our doctors and in the people we had supporting us to make good decisions for us and for her health.
We've always been a close family. I really think that having our family around us, my grandparents came and lived with us for 2 years, right?
2 years.
Yeah, not 2 months. And my older sister came back from school and spent time with me. My little sister was in high school, so she was here already. But yeah, so I think mostly it was with the family support that I had that I was able to get through it.
And that's so important to acknowledge and underscore, I think, is to know how family. This can, I think, sometimes something traumatic can tear families apart, but it's so beautiful to see when it is that kind of binding force that occurs. And seeing the two of you together now, Hana and Allie, I think is so beautiful. And it's wonderful to see this team, this connection that you are.
Well, you haven't seen us argue, but
well, you argue beautifully, I'm sure.
Oh, yes.
So here we are, and I think it's so wonderful, so good that you actually ended up in Seattle at the UW, because we do have essentially world-class medical care here. So you were certainly in the right place. And so they said you needed to have a transplant, but that was going to take time, I guess, when you're on the list, right?
Yes. And I also have a very a normal blood type.
Her blood type's very common, so the wait is a little longer.
For common blood types.
So after 2 months, she was just getting sicker and sicker, and they were afraid she wasn't going to survive to the transplant.
Or survive the transplant when it came eventually.
Yeah. So they ended up doing an open heart surgery to place an LVAD, a left ventricular assist device.
It's basically a partial artificial heart.
Yeah. So it was pumping the blood for her. She had a electrical cord that went from the inside of her heart, came out of her stomach and plugged into batteries, which then we plugged her into the wall every night to recharge. And she literally was like a bionic woman.
Yeah, I was Iron Woman.
But during that surgery, unfortunately, she had many strokes, and it's not very common, but it happened.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so that was the beginning of a whole new journey that almost made the heart stuff seem like no big deal in comparison. So, you just don't know what you don't know.
Although it was the heart stuff that caused the strokes.
But to think of an 18-year-old young woman going through all of this, it also signals age is in a way irrelevant when it comes to strokes and heart conditions. It can happen at any age is what we're learning here.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And yeah, we had no idea when we started this journey about women or young women being susceptible to this. Yeah. But heart disease is the number one killer of women. 44% of women don't realize that it is their number one killer.
It kills more women per year than all forms of cancer combined.
Yeah. Pretty devastating.
It is. And that is part of, as a result of what happened back in 2016 and 2018. You are really just, this walking testament and wonderful beacon of light and life, I think, that is here to really help us understand and learn. You really put a face to all these statistics. You put a life to these statistics, Hana.
Yeah, I think that's why we decided working with the American Heart Association was important and meaningful for us. My oldest daughter also has dilated cardiomyopathy. It turns out that we have a genetic mutation, my husband and I. And so 2 of my 3 girls are affected. So first of all, women are near and dear to our hearts, but second of all, it has affected us very personally. So we want to share and spread that awareness and that knowledge. And then on top of being a heart survivor after receiving her transplant, the strokes and the recovery of strokes, there's a lot to learn in that area. So we really want to also build awareness that strokes don't end your life, that there is a way back from them and recovery is possible.
Yeah. And I'm seeing this, although we're seeing each other on a Zoom screen, I can see that you look wonderful, Hana.
Thanks.
And then we know that, this past year you had really gone through this competition to be a woman of impact. Oh, my gosh. And that, honestly, you won. You were the right person to win, I believe, because, your story is so impactful, but you're showing how it just didn't devastate you, that you're alive and you're really embracing life.
Yeah, I think I always was a positive person, but my family, mostly my mom, really helped me get through that. And she wouldn't let me lay in bed and cry all day and made me realize that laying in bed and crying all day isn't really the best way to live life, right? So I've started getting out and doing things.
Yeah, when it happened, we just thought life is too beautiful to let whatever life we have slip through our fingers. So we decided that we would get out there and live no matter how long Hana had left. No matter what those days looked like, we would try to make the best of them. Of course, there were difficult days and there were tears and
I planned my own funeral, which was really hard.
Yeah, I mean, we went through those things, but on the same note, we took her skiing and she horseback rides and rock climbs and does pottery. And we spend a lot of time together as a family, laughing and just being.
I've been given these bonus days, and I'm very grateful for them. Because of these bonus days, I was able to be present at my older sister's wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're grateful for all of that. And there is hope, for
Mhm.
after. And I think part of that is because of groups like the American Heart
Yeah.
Association that are doing so much to advocate for and spread awareness and fund research. That's very important work that is making a difference in people's lives.
Yeah.
And providing these platforms, then these events because we do. Well, Hana, here's another big thing. You're going to be a featured speaker at the Women of Red Experience on March 6th, correct?
Yes, me and my older sister and mom are all going to speak there.
Oh my gosh, a trio.
Mom's trying to get out of it, but you're going to speak there.
I keep saying, you girls go, you're better.
Oh, Allie, don't underrate yourself. We're doing great here this morning.
Oh, thank you. We're excited to have that platform, share our story some more with people who are all rallying sort of around this women's heart health issue and the disparities in health between women and men, people of color, and understand that there is hope for the future, that we can make a difference, that if we rally together as a community and advocate, that maybe we can end heart disease.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and here again, all that's happened for you very positively, constructively, Hana, I think attests to all the work that has gone on and that continues, all the fundraising we need to continue doing, to continue the research and do the work so that future Hanas, people like yourself, other young women, will have perhaps a little easier path to travel, or, this will be caught earlier on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in hindsight, like I said earlier, there were the signs and symptoms of heart disease that I had, and we just didn't know to look for them. Mm-hmm. And so maybe if we had caught it sooner, I wouldn't be blind, or maybe I wouldn't have needed a heart transplant.
Yeah, I think these platforms, like you were saying, they really help to build that awareness so that women learn the signs and symptoms. Women know how to live a heart healthy lifestyle for themselves. And that we can that way spread the knowledge, which will make an impact ultimately on heart disease.
Yes, indeed. Well, this has been so important to share, but, radio time seems to be just unforgiving in a way. So we have very little time, but I think everyone's wondering, okay, so there was a heart transplant, right? We know there was a heart transplant, but it took, 2 years to get there?
Yeah, it did. 2 years of intense therapies. I was going to therapy twice a week.
2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
She was so sick after her strokes, and it was very touch and go for a long time. And she had a lot of recovery to do to be strong enough to receive a transplant. But she worked hard and tirelessly. I mean, I guess we all did, but Hana really had to put in the hardest work. And she had to learn how to live blind now. Yeah. And that's a challenge. But after 2 years, she had recovered enough
to receive a heart transplant.
Such a gift.
In 2018.
Yes. And
very thankful for it.
Isn't that just amazing that, then there was a match and here you are. It's 7 years later?
6 years.
It's 6. Okay.
8 years now, I think.
8 years since the strokes, but not since.
So 6 since her transplant.
6. Okay. And what date was that? Because that's another kind of birthday, isn't it?
Yes, we call it my heart anniversary.
Yeah,
it was
September 16th, 2018.
September 17th.
Well, yes. Yeah. Wow. How wonderful that everything aligned and that you had that. And as you say, there are still things you need to overcome, but considering the journey, I can see that it's only made you stronger. And Allie, I dare say you as well, not that you weren't strong, but, coming out to be this support, and you're becoming quite a strong spokeswoman in your own right, I believe. Isn't she, Hana?
Yes, she for sure is. You should hear her get started about women's heart health and the disparities between women's heart health and men's heart health.
Oh, well, you are just really such a dynamic team, and I just love you both. Yeah, you have such an incredible story, and it really needs to be, I think, shouted from the rooftops. But basically, I'm just so glad that you're doing so well, Hana. And Allie, again, being the support you are is just so great. So we do want to extend the invitation, right, for the Go Red Women experience?
Yes, please. Absolutely. That's on March 6th at the King Street Ballroom inside the Embassy Suites in Pioneer Square. And it's just this gathering of incredible people. My favorite part is that everyone wears red. And so when you look out over the room, there is this big sea of red of people who are listening to speakers and trying to make change for women's heart health. And it gives you hope that we really can make a difference and maybe someday eradicate heart disease for women.
Yeah.
And men.
My favorite part is probably just being in a room filled with like-minded people and listening to the speakers and meeting other heart survivors. And dessert, of course.
And of course, dessert. It always counts.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's just been so wonderful to meet you both. Thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for being so open and honest in sharing your story, because without doubt, it's making a difference in the world.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
This wraps up this hour of important stories, encouraging us to live our best life. Use the circumstances that come our way to their best advantage, helping not just us to grow, but inspiring others. Please check the station's website for the podcasts for more information about these guests, and please share the stories with your family and friends. I'm Kate Daniels, and if you'd like to connect with me, please email me at katedaniels@hubbardradio.com. And thanks for being here this hour, this morning.
Thank you for listening to Inspirational Women. Tune in every Sunday morning at this time to hear about those truly empowering the Northwest community, all for the greater good. Sunday Morning Magazine and Inspirational Women are a public service of Hubbard Radio Seattle.